Tonight on Global TV News Prime. President Tinubu hails All Progressives Congress dominance, commends Independent National Electoral Commission over by-election. In business, federal government unveils new public-private partnership guidelines to boost infrastructure. On the foreign scene, Democratic Republic of Congo rejects Kenya's naming of council to occupied Goma. And in sports tonight, the Tigers chase flawless finish against Lions in AfroBasket. Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Uyi Agmofwegbe, thanking you very specially for joining us on this Sunday night. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channels 365 and Star Times 276. Tonight, we begin by telling you President Bola Tinubu has congratulated the winners of the by-elections held on Saturday, August 16, across 16 constituencies in 12 states, in which the All Progressives Congress secured victory in 12 of the constituencies. The announcement was made in a press release issued by the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, while announcing the results of the elections. Onanuga noted that the President commends the Independent National Electoral Commission for the hitch-free elections, mostly devoid of violence, and lauded the newly appointed National Chairman of the ruling APC, Professor Nentawe Yilwadza, for steering the party to its first major triumph under his leadership. With the All Progressives Congress, APC winning majority of seats in the by-elections held across 16 constituencies in 12 states on Saturday, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, failed to secure any seat. The ADC was adopted by members of opposition parties vowing to unseat the APC in the 2027 general elections. The party tested its popularity in the by-elections, which were keenly contested by 637 candidates from 17 parties jostling for 68 seats. The by-election marked the first election the party contested since the coalition of opposition leaders adopted the platform as a special purpose vehicle to contest the 2027 polls. A gubernatorial aspirant on the platform of the All Progressives Congress in Osun State, Akin Ogumbi, has applauded President Bola Tinubu for his strategic and bold economic reforms. Ogumbi, who spoke at a meeting with the expanded caucus of the Osun APC Women Wing in Osogbo, the state capital, said the president's leadership capacity has brought about transformative changes in the nation's economy. He said the economic reforms have started yielding results, noting that they have saved Nigeria's economy from completed comatose and shackles of economic cankerworms. The federal government has outlined the country's commitment to implementing key recommendations from the recently concluded International Labour Conference, ILC. Speaking in an interview in Abuja, Minister of Labour and Employment, Muhammad Megari Dingyadi, highlighted that the principal focus of the decisions made at the ILC centered on creating a safe and secure work environment. The conference, which brought together global stakeholders to deliberate on the future of work, saw active participation from Nigeria's delegation, including members of the Ministry of Labour. The National Emergency Management Agency has confirmed that 21 communities across 5 wards of the Potiskum local government area were affected by the heavy rainfall that led to the flooding on Friday in Yobe State. Giving an update on the flood response in Potiskum, the agency said there was a joint swift intervention with the Yobe State Emergency Management Agency and other humanitarian partners. The agency also said that the joint response team remains on the ground conducting detailed assessments of their situation. On a side note, the Emir of Zuru in Kebbi State, Major General Muhammad Sani Sami Gamo II, retired, is dead. He passed away in London at the age of 81. The monarch's demise was confirmed by a palace source. Born on the 24th of October 1943 in Zuru, the late Emir joined the Nigerian Army in 1962 and attended several trainings both home and abroad. He served as the military governor of Bauchi State from December 1983 following the coup that brought General Muhammadu Buhari to power until August 1985 when General Ibrahim Babangida assumed leadership. Funeral arrangements are expected to be announced by the palace in due course. Tonight we turn to other stories for you. Markets remain one of the busiest and most vital parts of daily life, but poor sanitation in these trading hubs often poses serious health risks. From blocked drainage to piles of refuse, the environment can quickly become a breeding ground for disease. Now a renewed sanitation campaign is sweeping across markets to keep them clean and safe. Kabir Hassan has details.
With traders and customers constantly engaging goods and cash, markets can easily become hotspot for germs if hygiene is neglected. The latest environment sanitation exercise targets refusal disposal, drainage clearing, and surface cleaning, all aimed at creating a healthier environment for food handling and trade. Across the section of traders and market officials interviewed, many says the initiative is restoring order and boosting customer confidence. Some believe a clean market not only protects public health but also increases sales, as shoppers are more comfortable buying in a safe environment.
We are sellers. We are not receiving customers based on how the market is. We will get back, but the dustbin and everything, the market is dirty.
And those people who are selling meat, what they push the water from inside their own shop, and the thing will be following here. We beg if they can help us do a small water, go down, which is can pass, go to where they are selling chicken.
Customer not agree entire, it dey affect us. It dey affect us, we not dey sell anything. Because any customer when see this environment and then they go. So we not dey sell anything. If government go fit still come help us, come arrange this place now.
In the markets, residents and visitors encourage stronger enforcement of sanitation rules, along with more waste bins and drainage maintenance, while calling for continuous public awareness to ensure that environmental hygiene becomes a habit, not just a monthly event.
I think they can just know how to channel the drainage system and maybe know how to build the market properly so that when rain falls, it doesn't litter the market too much.
Across section of the interview, market officials have named areas where the government can work on to help improve good sanitation hygiene across markets, while calling on traders to ensure proper use of waste bins and use of drainages across the market.
The government help us to do only the gutter, to clean the gutter for us, but we try cleaner every day by day.
If it is raining season, the water can flow freely. They have to remove the dirty that is in the gutter so the place will be free and clean.
The aftermath of flood is clear in Abuja at some markets. Murky water mixed with waste has taken over walkways, disrupting businesses and posing health risks. Market users say this is a wake-up call for proper drainage maintenance and responsible waste disposal. I am Hassan Kabir, reporting for Global TV News.
Kabir, we're grateful for your reporting tonight. You're watching Global Television and you are onto the live broadcast of News Prime with Uyi Agmofwegwe. When the rest of the news returns shortly, anti-government protesters in Tel Aviv demand ceasefire, release of hostages. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please do stay with us. We appreciate you for staying with us here on the news tonight. The second part of this broadcast now returns with business. The federal government has issued new guidelines on public-private partnerships, decentralizing approval powers to ministries, departments, and agencies. The disclosure was contained in a press release issued by the Concession Regulatory Commission, stating that the framework was developed under the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Act 2005 and aligned with a presidential directive aimed at overhauling Nigeria's infrastructure delivery through public-private partnerships. The guidelines provide directions and requirements to set up the Project Approval Board for the new approval thresholds of under 20 billion naira for ministries and 10 billion naira for agencies and parastatals as approved by the President. The federal government, through the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee, has deducted a total of 256.52 billion naira from revenue allocations to fund gas infrastructure projects in the first half of 2025. Official figures indicate that the deductions were made for the midstream and downstream gas infrastructure fund fluctuated significantly month to month, suggesting both a rise in project execution surges amidst the government's latest plan to review deductions and revenue retention practices. It also suggests procedural delays in government's initiative set up to invest in infrastructure projects that will improve transportation and processing midstream and utilization of downstream of natural gas in the country. After months of rising cost, prices of some staple foods have begun to drop in some parts of Nigeria. However, the relief is uneven, and for many families, putting enough food on the table remains a daily challenge. Our correspondent Zarao Nasirio now reports.
This recent decline in the cost of some essential commodities is seen as a welcome development following a year of soaring food inflation. However, the reduction is not uniform across the country or for all food items. In 2024, the cost of staple foods doubled within months, eroding purchasing power and leaving many families struggling to eat 3 square meals a day. Today, while prices of certain items have eased in some markets, the relief has not reached every corner of the country. To understand the real impact, we spoke with traders and shoppers to get their views on the situation.
The problem is the transportation is very good. Even if we buy less price, when we take the transport is there is no person that confidently take 3 square meals a day. Confident, I mean. It's not just eating what you want.
It's lower than last year because people are complaining there is no money. In as much as the price is coming down,
this year better than last year's plan. That's under the law, so sometimes by 6 months, last 7,000. Sometimes we bigger.
While some welcome the drop, others say it's not enough to ease the burden on their household budgets. Many are calling on government and stakeholders to sustain efforts that will further lower prices and make food truly affordable for Nigerians.
This market trend regarding prices of essential commodities is considered by many as a welcome development after a year of high inflation. However, prices remain high in some areas and the drop is not uniform across the country or for all food items. Zahra Nasser, reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you so very much, Zahra. On the foreign scene, a Qatari official signs a draft agreement to end fighting between the Democratic Republic of Congo and the M23 has been shared with the government and the rebels. This comes ahead of an 18 August deadline agreed on last month between Kinshasa and the Rwanda-backed rebel group to reach a peace deal. However, the timeline had not been met as both parties have responded positively to the facilitator and expressed a willingness to continue negotiations. The Congolese government has rejected Kenya's appointment of a consul general to the city of Goma, describing the decision as inappropriate. Kinshasa said naming a consul to the city amounted to disrespect for the country's territorial integrity and could appear to legitimize the group's occupation. Goma, located in eastern Congo, has been at the center of a conflict between the Congolese government and the Rwanda-backed M23 rebel group. More than 30 people have been arrested in Israel for disruption of order as families of hostages held in Gaza step up their campaign with a nationwide strike. Protesters are demanding the Israeli government make a deal to secure the release of hostages held by militants in Gaza.
The campaign escalated on Sunday, with demonstrators staging a day of stoppage that blocked traffic and closed businesses. Protesters gathered at dozens of points throughout Israel, including outside politicians' homes, military headquarters, and on major highways, where they were sprayed with water cannons as they blocked lanes and lit bonfires that cloaked roads in smoke.
We are coming here every Saturday evening to protest, to bring back all the hostages, and also to make sure that the government is going to do whatever it's supposed to do, but in the end they are doing the opposite what it's supposed to do, because they are keeping the hostages in Gaza instead of bringing them back.
The message tomorrow, we are going to stop the country, to stop everything, because we cannot let it happen. If we won't stop the country will not survive.
Police said they had arrested 32 people as part of the nationwide demonstration, one of the fiercest since the uproar over 6 hostages found dead in Gaza last September. Uyi Agbomofwegbe reporting for Global TV News.
Calls for an end to the war in Gaza just continue to get louder by the day. Let's turn to other stories for you tonight. Russian President Vladimir Putin has described his talks with United States President Donald Trump in Alaska as frank and informative, saying both expressed a shared interest in ending the war in Ukraine. Upon his return to Moscow, Putin conveyed top Russian officials at the Kremlin to brief them in televised remarks about the meeting, stating that the talks had brought Russia and the United States closer to the necessary decisions to end the war in Ukraine on a fair basis. Let's go catch on a segment from the world of sports. Wiki tourists have announced the signing of 9 players ahead of the 2025-2026 Nigeria Premier Football League season. Wiki tourists also handed Saddam Nahuta his first professional contract following his outstanding performance with non-league side Warinje FC. Nigeria's D Tigers will look to seal a perfect group stage record when they face Cameroon's indomitable Lions in their final Group B clash at the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket in Luanda. The game at the Pavilao Motihus de Luanda tips off with victory, guaranteeing Nigeria top spot and direct passage to the quarterfinals on August 20, and defeat leaving them vulnerable to dropping into the qualification placement round a day earlier. The Tigers have opened their campaign in style, brushing aside host Angola before overpowering reigning champions Tunisia 8-7, 6-6 on Friday. 4 countries have qualified for the quarterfinals of the ongoing African Nations Championship CHAN competition. The 4 countries are Morocco, Madagascar, Kenya, and Tanzania, as Morocco is the latest team to qualify for the last 8 following the conclusion of Group A fixtures played. And tonight we end News Prime with a look at some of our big stories. President Bola Tinubu has congratulated the winners of the by-elections held on Saturday, August 16, across 16 constituencies in 12 states, in which the All Progressives Congress, APC, secured victory in 12 of the constituencies. In business, the federal government has issued new guidelines on public-private partnerships, decentralizing approval powers to ministries, departments, and agencies. On the foreign scene, the Congolese government has rejected Kenya's appointment of a consul general to the city of Goma, describing the decision as inappropriate. And finally, in sports tonight, we told you Nigeria's D Tigers will look to seal a perfect group stage record when they face Cameroon's indomitable Lions in their final Group B clash at the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket in Luanda. Here's a quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channels 365 and Star Times 276. As always, we encourage you to follow and engage with us across all of our social media platforms using @Global TV NG, as well as other handles as you now see on your screen. I'm Uyi Agbomofwegbe. On behalf of my colleagues who have made tonight's news broadcast possible, we say we are grateful for your time with us, and here is wishing you a very productive week ahead, and bye-bye.